guys, we've got another First Date live show coming up here in Austin, Texas on October 8th at Creek and the Cave. You can get tickets at creekandcave.com. We hope to see you there.
I'm so excited to see you tonight.
First date, baby. First date, I can't wait. First date.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of First Date. You know my guest today from the Chrissy Chaos podcast. He also has a new special out called Traumatized Animal. Give it up for Mike Cannon.
Hello. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
How are you doing?
I'm good, dealing with this heat that apparently doesn't stop. It just escalates throughout the day, so I'm not used to that. It's insane. It's like a bully. Like at 2 p.m., I'm assuming it's just kind of going to start slowly trickling down. It just escalates until 6.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff.
Yeah. It's toxic weather.
Yeah.
So it's not a good relationship.
Well, I'm an Irish guy, so I blotch easy. So I'm just walking around with like full rashes on my body. I'm not built for this.
Everyone just thinks you have eczema all the time.
And they'd be right.
Is this your first time to Austin?
No, I've been to Austin a bunch of times, but first time, doing the pod run and all that stuff for the special. So, that's exciting.
Where are you from?
New York, born and raised.
What part?
Well, I was born in Manhattan. I grew up for the first 9 years of my life right outside of West Point in Fort Montgomery.
Okay.
And then Rockland County, which is like 19 miles outside of the city, I've lived.
Did you get started in comedy in New York?
Yeah, which I wouldn't recommend because everybody remembers when you were brutally awful. I'm still fighting out of it like 16 years later. People are like, oh, wait, right? And I was like, ugh.
You're like, wow. And they say people forget.
Yeah, I know, which is great. I mean, I'm kind of grateful that I didn't come up right now during the post a clip 3 minutes into your career phase.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if there was like a living testament to that time in my life, this career would not be currently happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Here are some appetizer questions. Are you in a relationship now?
I'm married. We just celebrated 8 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Do you have kids?
We have 2 kids. I have one 5-year-old and then a newborn, a month old. So I left them at home. Yeah, just a real piece of shit. I'm like, honey, I got a YouTube special to promote. Just 2 things that I can't properly explain. It's like, on YouTube? Okay, great. And you're leaving? Cool.
That's amazing. What are their names?
Crew and Luca. So Crew, my oldest son, was named after a 1986 BMX biking movie named Rad.
Okay.
It's my favorite movie ever. I honestly, my wife's family is fully Italian, and I thought we were going to name him like Cologino fucking Ragu or something. I had no idea. But I threw out Crew almost as a goof, and her family younger cousins ran with it and were like, yes. So I won that round.
How did you meet your wife?
In 5th grade. We were...
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah. We've been dating on and off since we were children. Since we were 10 years old.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neighbors, the whole thing. I mean, we met on the bus line at Cottage Lane Elementary School. She was wearing a Charlotte Hornets pullover starter jacket. I immediately got boned up. I love Grandmama. And just, that was it. We just started talking, and I think we hugged at some point, and that was our consummated relationship.
My gosh.
Yeah.
That is wild. So she's your age.
My age, exactly. Yeah, same grade.
That is so
That would
cool.
be crazy. I met her in 5th grade. She was in 5th. I was much older.
I'm just like,
I just got an eye for talent.
I've heard the term talent used for girls recently.
Oof, yeah.
And it is making me laugh so hard. Because my boyfriend has single friends, and we'll go out, and they're like, wow, this place has some pretty good talent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time that I had ever heard that. And I'm like, that is an amazing term for hot bitches.
It's not bad. I mean, I heard it when my dad was a stockbroker. So, I used to go to his office sometimes. I actually was in my dad's office while his partner got arrested for pump and dump, like Wolf of Wall Street. But I would hear, look at the talent in reception. All that kind of thing. And I'm just like, what are they talking about? I don't know. Is she good at basketball?
That's what I thought at first.
I
I was like, is there cornhole going on? We're in Austin. There's always some, fun sport to do while you drink alcohol.
Yeah.
And so, That's the term that I've been hearing a lot lately.
I hope it comes back. I think it's like a level of cheese that I really enjoy.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think more people should use it. I started using it. Now I
Yeah.
ask people, I'm like, before I get there, how's the talent?
Yeah.
I just want to know,
What are we looking at?
how are they dressing? I need to know how
do I fit into the pool
right.
of people?
Yeah.
That's
Give me the scale
and
and I'll try to fit in there.
isn't that fun? Like I never try to think about that because if I put myself in that place, I get competitive like immediately. Like even my buddies who like try to introduce me to somebody new, they're like, "Oh, you'll like my friend. You guys are both funny." And I'm like, "No, I'm fucking funny. He's not funny. I don't like anybody else who's funny." And I feel like that way in terms of parties. They're like, "No, it's a cool, chill vibe." I'm like, "But who's chiller than us? Like, why are we even finding new friends?"
Yeah. You don't need new friends after
I
a
know.
certain age. You just
I-
have to maintain the ones you have.
Yeah.
My boyfriend will always tell me, he's like, I think that now that you're pregnant and like our lives are going to change a little bit, it's really easy for you. It's going to be really important for you to maintain your friendships. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing I only have one.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty easy to maintain.
The tight circle is a good thing.
You
And
know?
as you continue on being a parent, your shit just gets tighter because I don't know. I'm also about to turn 40, so I feel like all of my friends are having like crazy existential crises. And they're all like, "Should I start a food truck? Like, what should I do?" And I'm like, dude, I'm so grateful that I followed a pipe dream in my early 20s.
That's
and then
so
just
early
continued it.
2000s of people.
I know. It's like, dude, we're this far along in our life. You should have followed something at some point. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you were off and on with your wife.
Yeah, we're not psychotic. Like it would not be if we were just consistently through 5th grade and this was her only penis of her entire life. I'm not a your only dick in a lifetime guy. You got to go out, figure it out, see what else is out there, and be like, well, that's a good fit.
You're the kind of guy that you go back to.
Yes, who was like, wow, he was good sexually, not too good in the sense that it's like, we had a problem, but it was, fun enough time, consistency. It's great. Let's do it. Yeah.
So when you would date other people, what was like the way that you would pick people up? How would you take them out? What was your idea of a perfect first date?
I mean, I relied completely off of like sports because I was so young. I started dating my wife for the final time when I was 23. So before that in like college and stuff like that, it would all be, bumping into people, drinking. I would be hammered. I had no social etiquette whatsoever because I was just panicking constantly. I didn't know how to talk to people. I went to school in upstate New York. So the things that appealed to people downstate were not the same things upstate. Like farm equipment was super big at my school. And
Really?
I legitimately like overheard a guy talking about like a John Deere tractor that his family just got for his farm. And the girl was like, sliding off her stool. It was unbelievable. Like she was like, "What with the 4-cylinder?" And I'm like, "God damn, dude." I had nothing to offer these chicks, so I just blacked out and then hopefully said something to the point where they'd take mercy.
When did you start comedy?
I did my first few open mics in college. I wouldn't call that starting because again, I was just in a full brownout. And then but I was like in 08 I started, so I guess 23.
Is a brownout a little lighter than a blackout?
It's a little bit lighter, yeah. So I guess I have memory of me being on stage. I just don't know what happened
or what you
I talked
said.
about. No,
yeah. Okay.
I have no idea.
There's a blur.
It was a big blur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever hooked up with a fan?
No. So I mean that was my only opportunity. You know what? That's not true. I performed at one of my buddies' funerals. So one of my friends died.
Oh my God, you wedding crashed it.
It was unbelievable.
Only it was like the opposite.
Exactly. So it was, my friend died. All of our friends flew home for this. And we went to this we all had this house party where we're all on just like so many drugs. It's insane. And my friends got a whiff of the fact that I had a dream. And they're like, let's exploit this and laugh. Not like with me, but at the fact that I thought I could do this. They asked me to do stand up in front of a bereaved group of pals. Like on Xanny bars, just literally like just out of their minds. And I did stand up and it went well enough because one of my friends that everybody hated heckled me and I just said what everybody thinks about him and it like exploded the house. They couldn't believe it. I was like, you fucking pill popping, puddle faced, butter teeth. Like he had yellow, awful teeth.
Ew.
Yeah, just really unloaded on this kid to the point where one girl was like, let's go into my car and have sex. And we did in February. It was the coldest thigh-to-thigh contact I think I've ever felt in my life. And that was how I started my comedy career. That was literally before I even went to the city and started.
So you roasted the shit out of this guy.
Yeah.
This girl thought it was hot.
Yeah.
That was your John Deere moment.
That was my John Deere moment. Exactly. I mean, there's no way that anybody was pleased in the transaction. You know what I mean? Like I was just a gooey dick and just no possible way of satisfying a woman. And, it was fun, though. It's a good story. I guess.
Yeah. I guess what is your advice for other people to get out of a bad date?
To get out of a bad date?
Yeah, if you're on a date with someone and it's just sour apples.
See, I'm at this point where I have kids, a wife. It's like I don't mince words when it comes to that. If this is, I'm like love on the spectrum. Like if this is not going anywhere, I will try to make eye contact as best as I can, and then just let you know that hey, this isn't for us. We shouldn't be doing this. I do that with like fans all the time, or people after shows. They're not. I wouldn't even call them fans, but they're people afterwards that just like accost me with joke suggestions or who else they love from the New York comedy scene.
Don't you love the joke suggestions?
It's real fun, especially when I'm at the bar on like in between shows at Long Island. They're like, "All right, so this is racist, but," I'm like, "All right, let's hear it, dude."
Give me what you got.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah, and then it's just couldn't possibly be repeated on a podcast.
Yeah. As a pregnant person, I don't know how many people know this, but I have to pee all the time.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're familiar with that. Since
For
your wife
sure.
has been pregnant, it's just things are heavy on your bladder.
Yeah.
I had to pee so bad the other day, and I ran into a restaurant to pee, and I don't do that. I usually like buy a Coke or I'll get something just because I feel so bad for
Yeah.
using a facility. But in this situation, it was like I just had to run and gun and pee before I just pissed in the car. And so as I run in, I get stopped by like two people who are like, "Oh my God, are you Lauren?" And I was like, "Yeah, hi." And I tried to be nice for a second. The girl didn't know who I was. She was with a guy.
Yeah.
And the girl's like, "Tell me a little bit about what you do. I'm unfamiliar." And I was like, "Well, I'm about to piss myself. And if I don't go to the restroom right now." But it was so weird. I just didn't have time to talk to anybody.
Well, also, it's the height of insanity to be like, "Give me the elevator pitch on who you are and what your career's all about. He seems to be familiar, but I have no fucking clue."
What? That was exactly the angle. And I'm just like, I don't have time to go into my whole history of like what I do.
I mean, that's the best is when one person is like almost furious that the other knows who you are. And they're like, why are you worth my time? And then the other is when they are like, "Wait, what do I know you from? Is it from this?" And you're like, "No." "Is it this?" And you're like, "No." And they're like, "Well, tell me." And I'm like, "It's just you're not a big enough fan. You don't like me."
Also, what a weird way to like introduce like yourself to someone else by just giving them your resume.
Right.
I don't know how to do that and be cool.
No. At what point would you be like, "Hey, how you doing, Mike? Been in finance for 8 years. Doing pretty good. Vice president of sales." like out of nowhere.
Odd.
Yeah.
And I just had to pee really, really bad. And so
Yeah.
that whole thing just really nosedived.
I feel like that's also a good out, though. Like, I would be so brutally and almost, like, graphically honest about that shit, where I'd just be like, "I'm pregnant and I'm about to piss on your shoes." So I'm gonna
I
head
could
right
have
past
used
you.
that.
Yeah.
I guess I get under this like little dream wave of like wanting to be nice to everyone.
Totally. Yeah.
And I just didn't want to like, the guy was so excited to see me and the girl had no idea who I was. And the guy was like 80.
Mm-hmm.
This was like an old guy.
That's so funny.
So it wasn't even like a cute young dude
Right.
and like with this girl. And she's like, "How the fuck do you know that bitch?"
Right,
You know, it was
yeah.
just like an
That is-
old man. And I'm sure he's watching. He said he's watched all my shows. So you know who you are.
I bet he is.
And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. You were cute for an old man. But it was like, I just like,
How old was the woman? Was it his wife
I
or
couldn't
partner?
tell.
Okay.
I think that she was younger than him.
Mm-hmm. So, so she's like, "So why the fuck are you watching this
So
podcast?"
I have no idea. I don't know if they
Uh-huh.
were friends or whatever. They're from out of town. I
Yeah.
had like a 4-minute before. It was like someone just flipped over a hourglass.
Okay.
And I was just like, we are moments away from a big show.
Mm-hmm.
Investing can feel intimidating and people don't know where to start. What app or service do I use? How much money should I put in? Should I do something high risk or low risk? Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need a lot of money or expertise to invest with Acorns. In fact, you can get started with just your spare change. Acorns recommends an expert built-in portfolio that fits you and your money goals, then automatically invest your money for you. And now Acorns is putting their money into your future. Open an Acorns Later IRA and get up to 3% match on new contributions. That's extra money for your retirement. I personally really like investing in things because it makes me feel secure in my future. Head to acorns.com/firstdate or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risks. Acorn Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/firstdate. A chill in the air, leaves falling to the ground, and football every weekend. That's what fall is all about. You can make each weekend even more exciting by getting into the action with my partners at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet on touchdowns. And right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get $200 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up using my promo code FIRSTDATE. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets to bet anytime touchdowns on DraftKings. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have the shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code FIRSTDATE and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code FIRSTDATE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Alo or Skims, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the business that is making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that's Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not so secret secret. With Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. My favorite part of Shopify is how user-friendly it is. The customer service is on point. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Alo or Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/date, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/date to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/date. Being an adult has its high points. Like, you can eat ice cream for dinner at any time. But it's not all fun. You also have to do your taxes and figure out what's for dinner every freaking night. And make doctor's appointments. For that one, there is ZocDoc, the healthcare app that makes adulting that much easier. ZocDoc is a free app and a website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors, choose the right one for your needs, and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty. From mental health to dental health, eye care to skincare, and much more. Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast, typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking. You can even score same-day appointments. Anytime I'm looking for a doctor, I use ZocDoc because they are so fast to respond. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc ZocDoc.com/date to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/date. ZocDoc.com/date.
I mean, my whole thing, and I do a bit about this on my special, but it's true. My friend will take videos of me sometimes in social situations because I get dominated by people. Like, I am the guy in a corner looking to try to get out while somebody is telling me every detail of their career. I've never met them before. They often tell me conspiracies, theories that they, like, I just have that face where they're like, this guy wants to hear how I know the earth is flat and there's 2-mile-high ice walls on each pole. And, you know, on the other side is some other stuff. You know, and
do you talk a lot about conspiracy theories?
No. I just have, I mean, I used to host a podcast, but people that have never met before, they just see it on my face. They're like, this guy will listen. So I'm going to unload my life's trauma and belief system onto him.
You'd be a very successful therapist.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, career change coming right up.
You're doing fine. You have a YouTube special.
True.
Stick with what you're doing.
That's right. Christy Comedy on his YouTube channel.
Have you ever dated another comic?
No, I never have. I also don't think, like, if I was a single person, I don't think I would. I mean, I don't know. I am also, like, my wife is the only reason why I'm a human being. Like, I'm feral outside of my marriage. I've never existed in any kind of, like, gracious or admirable way. The way that I lived.
So you're a real piece of shit without her.
Truly. And, like, not even in a intentional kind of, like, mischievous or insidious type of way. I just lived like an assassin. Like, I lived in Elmhurst, Queens. I had a room, piles of clothes, some clean, some not. On my balcony was a full garbage bag of clothes that I hadn't touched in 18 months, and they grew like cultures inside of them. And then I had one naked light bulb that kind of swung, and just literally as if I was just kind of stopping in there between kills. And then just, you know, smoking cigarettes in bed, drinking 40s in bed. And then just, you know, my wife and I started redating again. I was like, all right.
Complete
Let's
degenerate.
Put on clothes. Yeah.
And she took you back.
She took me back. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about imprinting on a woman early. That's not going to be a good clip, but that's the thing is, you know, I really sold her a bill of goods before she could even open her eyes to the universe.
Yeah.
So that's what's good.
You got her early on.
Truly. There's part of me that feels guilty, though, you know, like part of me that's like, man, you really believe in me, you fucking idiot. You really, I mean, I have to. There's no other options, but you really saw somebody outside of yourself, and I believe in this guy.
That's hilarious. Let's get into our main course questions. Do you still talk to any of your exes in between?
You know what? Not like none of my serious ex-girlfriend. I think I've only had like 2 other serious girlfriends outside of that. One of which went to the same college as my wife, so we would swap. I visited her, then we broke up, then I visited my now wife after that. So that was interesting enough. But and then I had one other girlfriend who, both of which have families now. It would just be like inappropriate.
It'd be weird.
Yeah, and also I'm just like, yeah, we have nothing to chat about. It's just like, hey, remember when we dated in high school and it ended with us saying the worst things we could to each other?
Nice.
Yeah, let's rehash that at 39.
Let's not. I can see how that would be weird.
Yeah, and if I mean, the only way I would is if they were like, hey, can I get tickets? Then I'd be like, yeah, of course, I'll get you tickets, whatever you want to do. You want to see a show, 100%. But if I'm just like, you know, ghost DMing like, hey, it's been a while.
You're looking good.
Yeah, how's life? Kids good? Weirdly enough, I hang out or I sometimes play softball with one of my ex-girlfriend's little brothers.
Okay.
So, you know, we still have that weird connection, I guess, but no actual direct contact.
Yeah. Has height ever been a deal breaker for you?
In terms of women?
Yeah.
No. I mean, tall. I've dated tall women. It's or hooked up with or whatever, and it takes a minute to get used to, at least, because I don't often feel like a little boy.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'1.5". 6'1" with shoes on, but you know my basketball height in college was 6'3", so that's pretty cool.
Right?
But yeah, I'm scraping 6 foot, so it's not a big deal.
So it would be weird if a girl was actually taller than you.
Yeah, I mean, I was with this girl briefly for like that was like probably my height exactly, and it was like. I felt like a little boy. I didn't like it. You know, I just felt kind of just very physically emasculated, and that's all on me. It has nothing to do with her. It's just me not feeling confident or manly in any sense.
I was with a guy that was like my height.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would get angry, he would like lean up on his toes to try to be a little bit bigger than me.
The old Trump over Hillary
Yeah,
lean.
yes.
Yeah.
And I would just laugh so hard. And it was a horrible little igniter for his anger, his little Napoleon issues.
Well, I mean, the women, I had an old joke about that, but women like key into the like thing that they could say that will just ruin your whole life. And my wife had the same thing where it's not my height or anything like that. She's 5'3" or 5'4", and she would, but every once in a while she'd be like, wow, you're reminding me of your father right now. And that's basically like, you're a little short.
Yeah.
It's that same thing. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to light this house up with explosives.
Cool. I'm going to burn this whole bitch down. Who do you feel should pay on a first date?
I guess whoever asks. I think that's, in
for the check?
Yeah, whoever asks for the check. I mean, I think I would out of sheer habit. I would just, out of just being like, oh, I probably organized this. It's my idea. Thank you for donating your time to this. It may have been a failure, but here, the least I can do is foot the bill. But I guess now it's like, I would probably be okay with a woman paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the weirdest thing is when people split it.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well never fuck. It's just that is like, that couldn't get anybody hard. That couldn't get anybody excited. Like, I can't imagine that leading to.
That says friends to me.
Totally.
Like, if I go out with you and we split it, then and we're friends, I have no problem splitting the bill.
What dries up a woman faster than hearing one card and then two cards hit? Like that little clipboard just. And you're like, well,
friends.
Yeah, all right, this is equal.
Yeah, I just can't. I just like, on a date, either you pay or I pay, which I don't think I've ever paid.
I was going to ask, have you ever had a guy just be like, so?
I mean, the only time I've ever really paid, and I wouldn't even consider it a date, is when I'm dating someone.
Sure.
And I'll pick up food.
Right. Yeah, I mean, my wife will pay if she's the one picking it up or getting it, or just like, I don't have my wallet conveniently enough.
But like on a date?
Yeah, no, it's typically.
It'd be strange.
Yeah, I guess so.
If the guy just sat there and stared at me forever, and we just prolonged this so that you expected me to pull out. I think I would even I would probably call it out. I'd be like, are you ready to go? Do you want to get the bill? Are you going to put your credit card down?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, I'd be so weirded out, but I don't know. I guess that's just me, inherent in me.
Yeah, but I think it's one part of the patriarchy that they're trying to also keep. Like, it's the fight, like that, hey, protect, hey, provide, all those things. They still do that, but also we want to make the same amount.
I'm also so high maintenance that if you cannot afford the dinner that we go to, or you suggest a place and you aren't gonna pay for it, you're gonna have a really hard time dating me.
So I mean, that's a great insight then into like what it will be.
Yeah.
What a great kind of boundary to set immediately, where you're like, hey,
I'm not changing.
I'm a problem, so pay for this.
Exactly. Do you get jealous easily?
No, I used to. I used to be a maniac. Like, I broke up with my wife in high school because she drank at a Bare Naked Ladies concert.
Really?
Yeah. In 9th grade, I was like weirdly straight edge, didn't drink. She also was, or at least said that just to appease me. And then she went to a Bare Naked Ladies concert with like the older girls in high school, the basketball team her basketball teammates. And she drank, and my immediate head is like, she's definitely blowing somebody. And all this shit. So I'm just like, I can't be with somebody that consumes Coors Lights. So that was my jealous period.
I broke up with a guy who smoked weed. I found out he smoked weed, and so I guess he had smoked weed for a long time.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I was homeschooled. Okay, I was sheltered. I was very, very not with it.
Yeah.
So I found out that he smoked weed, and this guy was smart. So he was like, I'll make you a deal. You smoke weed, and if you really hate it and you don't like it, then we can quit and I'll never smoke again.
Wow. That's great.
I was like, deal.
Yeah, I've never heard that. That's a great
It was
stipulation.
brilliant. So then I smoked weed and I loved it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. I feel so relaxed. Everything's so funny. Let's watch South Park.
Yes, you should be able to do that to a cop. be like, dude, you know what? Fuck this. You smoke weed. Tell me you don't love it. Tell me you don't love it.
And then after that, I dated him for like a year and we were just stoners.
Yeah.
And so this smart ass guy turned our whole relationship into from like a breakup over you smoke weed to you want to get an eighth and like just chill out this weekend. Like, yeah, I started like measuring it out. I'm like, should we slang this shit? Let's just get a pound.
Sling this shit.
I'm like, let's just start making the money. Like, let's go. Let's business this
Damn,
up.
kingpin mentality immediately.
Yeah,
that rarely happens when you smoke weed. That rarely like clicks your head into, all right, I got some business ideas. That's
well, I
usually a
started
coke
seeing
thing.
other people that were making so much money selling weed, and this is like in high school.
Yes, yeah.
And it's so much money, like you know, just a lot more than I made at Abercrombie.
Totally, yeah. I mean, my buddy, who still to this day I consider him rich because he sold ounces of weed, and I just assume he's still like just rolling in those slush funds of just high school peddling.
I mean, it really paid out.
Yeah.
At least the clothes that they would wear and the cars that they would drive and
100%.
stuff. I'm like,
all those kids have BMWs.
yeah,
All
I'm
of
like, you
them.
guys are like killing it.
Yeah.
I want to kill it.
While I'm driving a 92 Champagne Maxima.
I had an S10 mini truck.
Nice. That's pretty sick.
I called it the penis mobile. I think my dad just really hated me and did not want me to ever have a boyfriend. So I just had this little lowrider that was just
the ones that are low to the
a Chevy S10 mini truck.
Damn.
Champagne gold.
That's like a Japanese construction vehicle.
It
Right?
was
Like,
yes.
Yeah, you see like 8 of them in the
It's
front.
rude.
Yeah.
It was rude.
Nice.
And I just wanted to shoot myself in the face. I was like, I can't just rather walk miles to school than drive this truck. So the longest relationship that you've been in is obviously with your wife.
With my wife, yeah. And then other than that, my longest was like 3 years or 3.5. Like, you know, and again, it's like I would break up with that girl, then I'd come back and hook up with my wife, then we'd get back together, then I'd break up with that girl, then I'd come back and hook up with my wife. Similar with her. She had long-term relationships.
Really?
Yeah, she dated a black guy, came back, pretty sweet. I'm still filling her up. Pretty good. So, you know, that it's not like if it was just us, it would be like be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever like throw it in each other's faces like remember that time?
We used to. I mean, we used to have like crazy toxic wild fights, and then I quit drinking and then also went to therapy, started doing mushrooms, and now I'm no longer jealous. I'm a softer, more understanding dude, and that's you know, I have a family. It's great.
Yeah. What is the key to a good relationship?
I mean, I think that like mushrooms, like do it. My
They
wife
help
and I
you?
did mushrooms on a bed together, and I remember the entire afternoon just like rolling around yelling, "I get it." Like literally the two of us just have never been more in love with another human, just completely recognize that it's been this forever and, you know, something's going on here, and it was really great. And it was at a time in my 20s where I think like it was just when we started dating again, and we both at 23 we knew if we start dating again, like this is it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a tug of war where we're like, should we or should we wait a little bit? Like, I don't know, like should we get this out of our sit? What do we do? And so then we did mushrooms together. And it was literally an affirming experience where it was like, yeah, who gives a shit? Like, this is what it is, and we're grateful to have it this early in our lives. Like, let's just do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never had a good experience on mushrooms.
No shit.
And I've done them 4 times.
Damn.
I vomit.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Do you
Like,
smoke weed with it,
A
though?
lot.
That'll help.
No.
That curve.
I usually don't mix. When something's going really bad, I usually don't layer it on with something else.
See, that's me. Is I'm like, oh, this is a problem. I'm gonna dive deeper and see what's near the crust of the earth.
That's like you're speaking to the fear in my
Yeah.
soul. Like I just cannot.
But that's also, I love that. I love like showing up with a hatchet to fight my demons. Like,
Really?
I do hardcore edibles. I like doing that. Last night, I mean, I took a break once my son was born. So all my what is that called? Tolerance has completely dissipated. I was taking a couple 100 milligrams every day of weed and just like being completely fine. It was how I was operating. And then I took like a 10 milligram edible after like 2 weeks after my son was born. I was just like having the most difficult time, but it was great. I was like, oh, I remember what it was like to be this fearful. And it's kind of nice that I'm still resilient enough to come back from it.
The mushrooms never worked for me. I tried edibles. I really liked those.
Yeah.
For a long time. And then my business mind kicked in and I was like, I'm going to sell these. So I started making hemp butter or like butter out of I would bake the weed. My house would smell like a giant dispensary. And I made butter out of it. And then I would start to make cookies. And I got like a pack of 100 plastic bags and like sealed them. Like I made little pretty Pinteresty paper logos with a stapler.
That's awesome.
I was like, this was my food truck moment.
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, I'm going to make edibles and like go out there and sell them. But then I forget that I don't have like a Rolodex of people to like hit
Compton's
up.
cookies?
Hey.
I mean, that's not bad.
It has a ring to it.
Yeah.
No one bought these cookies.
Yeah.
So
I mean, now they would.
ate them.
Nice.
So I was like, well, if no one wants these fucking cookies and I can't even give them away.
Yep. Yeah.
So I started eating them, but I didn't quite understand how much weed was in each one.
Oh, no. How could you? You made them at home.
Threw it all together.
Yeah.
So I would start by taking just a little piece of one. I'd get high, I'd be like, okay, that's the dosage.
Yeah.
You know, like one cookie lasts a week. And then I started eating a little bit more until I ate a little too much one day. It was a very Alice in Wonderland moment. And man, did I go down this rabbit hole of like just full paralyzation on my bed.
Oh, yeah.
The anxiety attack. My hands like got all stiff. And I was just like, I did this to myself. I can't believe I have done this to myself. And then it was one of the worst experiences
Oh, no.
I had. I didn't quite give up edibles after that, but I like really dialed it back.
Tempered down. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, these peanut butter cookies are good. If you want more of a cookie, just make it without weed.
There you go. That's the problem about making it at home. That happened to my wife. This one 420 before legalization in New York, we dumped like a full ounce into a tray of brownies, and I think 100% of it ended up in my wife's brownie. She had a 19-year-old Schnauzer dog that looked like Gandalf, like it was like an old wizard dog, and it kept having strokes while we were high. It had a stroke at the top of her steps, fell down the full flight of steps, got up, and then just walked as if nothing happened. And my wife was just there, just terrified. And at one point, I kind of was messing with her a little bit, which I shouldn't have, but, you know, it was fun. The dog would walk up to her, and I'd just, like, be behind something and go, "Hello, old friend." What is that? And I'm like, it's me, the Grim Reaper.
Oh my God.
Half lost her mind, just did not care for it. She locked herself in a room for the rest of the night, and I went with my buddy to see Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It was awesome, except I literally was on so many edibles, I forgot to like verbally laugh. Like I would hold it in, and then every 20 minutes I'd go, "Ah!" Like it would just kind of escape. It would just escape my face. Like there was too much pressure building up in my body, and then just air would shoot out.
What does she do for a living?
She owns her own floral design company. Actually, I didn't realize. Buds of Brooklyn.
Oh, that's cool.
So they do like big events, like weddings, corporate events, stuff like that.
So
she used to be in fashion, and she took that to flowers.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can't design anything. I can't put anything together. I'm surprised that I did the cookie packages.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But like a bouquet of roses, you'll have to make that for me.
No, it's kind of a blessing. Like it's a nice thing that my wife is in flowers, because that kind of just removes that from the gift options. It's like I can't, and meanwhile she loves it. Like even if I got her bodega flowers, she'd be like, "Wow, you thought of me." Like that's so kind. But I'm just like, no, you're better at it than I am. That's like you trying to be like, "Hey, I got you a joke." And I'd be like, actually, that sounded more sweet when I said it. I was like, oh, that'd be cool.
She's thinking of your comedy.
She told me a joke.
What is the kind of gifts that you give your wife?
I give her, like, what I got her for her birthday this year. I got one of those infrared mask things for your skin. Yeah, I mean, it's all practical shit now once you're married. It's like, what can you use?
Yeah.
What is something you actually want that you won't buy for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a guy buy me a vacuum cleaner one year.
Oh. Well, that's to the point.
We broke up
Yeah, I
very
bet.
shortly after
Did you
that. I
keep
was
it, though?
of course I did. It was a Dyson. It was a nice vacuum cleaner. But I was so offended. I was like, are you telling me I need to clean more?
Damn.
I took it the wrong
Damn.
way, but
I don't know if that's taking it the wrong way as much as it's taking it the only way.
right?
Yeah, it's kind of the only way. I mean, again, it's a gift that you wouldn't get yourself. So in that respect, it's like, oh, this is very useful.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a shot across the bow in terms of what you think the power dynamics of this relationship
Like, this is the
are.
gift that you get me for Christmas?
Yeah.
A vacuum cleaner? How odd.
Yeah, that's almost like giving you flavored condoms.
Yeah.
It's like, here, for you, for me.
It's for both of us.
Yeah.
More for you.
Yeah.
But it's for us. So, excuse me, for my dessert question, how did you propose to your wife?
I proposed to her in probably the least romantic way that anybody could do it, where it was on her birthday. It was right after I had just come home from the road. I was in Syracuse, New York, the city of love. So feeling very romantic. That's where she went to college. So I brought her home some like gear or whatever from her store. And that's what I gave her as a gift. Like, so I gave her like Syracuse shorts and like a mug that says like hot twat or something, who knows? It was like some bullshit gifts. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, so let's go out. We'll go out to dinner. It'll be a great night. And she's like, okay. I was like, first I have a set. And so she followed me to a show where I promptly got bumped by like 4 more famous comedians than me. And so our dinner reservation that I had, surprise, this whole thing got pushed, eventually canceled. So then we had to find a backup reservation in Brooklyn near our house at a place that we pretty often go to. So she was like, oh, this is great, but like, whatever. This is a nightmare. And then I got home and we started arguing a little bit over the kitty litter, like who was going to do it. And I told her to do it. I was like, will you just, come on, like I did it last time. Will you just do it? And so she was like still arguing. And I get down on my knee in the kitchen with the ring in my hand. And she like turns around with 30 pounds of cat shit in her hands. And she's like, and another, like instantly starts crying. She's like, are you fucking serious? Because I was the guy that never wanted to get married. I was anti-marriage. My parents had a brutal divorce, the whole thing. I just did not see it as a successful avenue for a relationship. So I was like, this isn't going to be us. We're going to be Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins. I'll be with you for the rest of our lives. I'm totally cool with that, but we're never going to get married. And so when I proposed, she was like truly taken back, truly shocked, and just like super happy.
When did you guys get married?
In September 2016.
Oh, that's cool. What day?
Yeah. September 10th, pre 9/11.
Okay.
So.
My birthday's the 15th.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That was when my special came out, Traumatized Animal, available now on YouTube.
Hey, that takes us to anything you want to plug?
Mostly the special, Traumatized Animal on YouTube. Check it out. It's an hour on Chris DiStefano's YouTube channel. He was nice enough to produce it and post it on his platform, so that's cool. And Chrissy Chaos, listen to that. And I'm all over the road, MikeCannonComedy.com for all that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. This was so fun.
This is so fun. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
First date, baby.
Are you really drinking a glass of milk with dinner?
First date.